I repeat myself a lot, but like I said, well, originally, well, things were different. I guess you could say we came to a middle in things at some point in time in existence and everything else. And there's a lot of things which a lot of people don't understand. And like I said, I was wondering why Korea was starving and why there's problems with Korea. And the report I got basically said that they were just well, for one thing, they were producing a lot of opium or something like that, and for another thing, apparently they were out producing or they're shipping most of their food and most of their stuff overseas. I guess that somebody had turned them into basically a manufacturing complex, and basically they I don't know, they weren't feeding their people enough. And I sent some people over there to do something about that, and basically told them that that's enough. The world does not have to ride on the backs of Korea. The world should put out its own thing. Um, like I said, I have seen photos and pictures and basically seen basically how the boy that is in charge right now, his father or at least another North Korean, basically embraced Western ways and stuff like that, and did a lot of many great things, and he is a legitimate leader of North Korea, basically, as far as I'm concerned. Some people say blah 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 blah, and I know he's young, and I know he's probably confused, but I'm sure his council and his people can guide him in the proper way of running a country and everything else, just like everybody else. Like I say, I was young once too, and just a young little Lucifer, or a young Lucifer Star, or a young Brian. And I too, you know, had to think of ways and whatever. Very much a child myself at one point in time in my own existence. I said, I know now I am the great Lucifer Starline. Or Brian. But, and I had my own calling ship and everything else. Like I said, at one point in time, it was my fault I declared war on Germany. Like I said, I was sending my people over to Germany and everything else like that, and there were towns that were dead, that were attacked, and everyone was killed, and there was also signs of starving in Germany. And as I said, Germany used to be my country. They were my country before I came over to America. So, like I said, seeing signs or people, in internment camps or whatever, starving to death is not the proper way of handling people. I said a long, 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 long time ago, I did not want my people working on a dirt floor. So I was having bricks laid down and also like places for them to stand on more than just dirt, on the ground. So anyway, real buildings and real factories and real everything. So anyway, and I paid quite a bit of money. Like I've already explained in the past about how I had the largest brick manufacturing complex where they were kiln drying bricks basically, and they had this great big giant brick pile basically that where they dried bricks inside of it and stuff like that. And like I said, the bricks cost me like 7 cents or 6 cents or something, some amount of cost because I was paying my laborers and stuff like that, and then I was selling them for 12 or 35 cents or something like that, a brick or something like that. And so my factories had brick floors and all that other stuff, and even a road. Like I said, we tried cobblestones, but the problem with the cobblestones is that it wasn't good for the horse. The horses would twist their feet. When the horses would step on a cobblestone, it was more likely to twist its foot than it was to actually walk, and so that was a little bit of a problem. Cobblestones were too uneven for horse travel, so we needed something a little smoother, you know, and stuff like that. Although you could just put down sand or dirt to kind of even out the cobblestones and stuff like that. Anyway, the real problem, of course, is the rain. It tends to turn everything into this ruddy, muddy mess. Like I said, at many points in time in my existence, I actually had people doing surveys on my cities and surveys on my towns and my factories and stuff like that. And some of the surveys were coming back very poor, and of course, seeing what's wrong and all that other stuff. And like I said, well, American money, paper money. Basically, I was an inventor of it. And like I said, it all goes. People ask why, how, when, where. How is this possible? And I say, well, like I say, I am Star Mining. I own the Star Mining Group basically, um, which also brushed into Ingersoll Rand and other things. As years ago, I had the Ingersoll group or whatever, the group that became Ingersoll Rand, and basically was having them do little mining test projects to increase or improve mining capability, where scientists and also smelters and machining people would work together to make better mining equipment. Anyway, like I say, I admit, as America or as whatever, I did declare war on Germany, and maybe that was a mistake. It is no doubt that my counsel was definitely lying to me, but Germany had been taken over. There's something wrong with Germany, and the people of Germany were starving, or there were people starving in Germany. Anyway, basically, at some point in time, the Germans contacted me, or Germany contacted me, and told me basically that the feelings of the German people were not the same as the feelings of the government, or at least the leaders of the country. And like I say, that's about when basically I started having people surrender, or ask my people to see if they can get the German people to surrender, or the German military surrender, so we can stop it and we can clean this thing up. Like I said, I am not part of the Nazi or Third Reich or whatever. I don't really think I was a part of that, really. I don't, SS refers to just like my sea ships. People were saying SS this, SS that. You mean SS like my sea ships? Because ships used to be known as the SS Leviathan or the SS Liverpool. And that stands for Lucifer Star Line's ship, basically. It was the middle S for my name. So, anyway, that's what SS. Just like LS. Like I said, it all goes back to identity theft and everything else. Like I said, people would look up at my ships and it'd be like the LS Titanic, and people would be like, "Yes, I'm Larry Smannen. I'm Larry Smarts, and that's my ship." And people would even go to my banks and be like, requesting money. And my bank people would be like, "I'm sorry, that's not the name on the account." In the past, they were trying to make it legal for people, or trying to force the banks to basically give up money based on 2 letters. So if somebody signed LS, they wanted to make it so the bank had to honor that check. And it's like, no, I have a full name. Lucifer Starlight. Or Star. Anyway, like I say, I don't know what I was saying. Sorry. I'm just rambling. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just trying to straighten out your history or whatever. I know I repeat myself. Anyway, though, but the German people basically said to me, at least, that the feelings in Germany were not the same feelings as the government or the other people running the country or something like that. And like I say, fine, that's fine. And I didn't think they were. Like I would yell and scream and shout and bitch and all kinds of other things. I know my people. I knew my people. I've always known people. Like I say, I'm the creator of the human race and all kinds of other life forms. I would hope I know how you feel, or I knew how you feel. Maybe you don't feel the same way now. Maybe you don't care for me. Maybe you don't care about your great epic leader or your creator. Like I said, if that's so, and I would say several times, I'd be like, if you don't really care for me, if you don't really feel that I should be leading you, and I said it many times in the past, I said, if you don't feel that I'm your true and proper leader and all that other stuff, and the one that should be making your laws and deciding things, then put the gun on the table and let's just get this over with. I'm too old. I've gone through too much. And like I said, I was right. So anyway, and it took a lot of convincing too. I said, to get us switched over to a good financial and whatever. Like I said, this whole system of finances and financialness. Like I said, and they were doing some other way, and I reconvinced them, and I found a better way of doing it. Anyway, and like I say, I don't really care. I had a calling ship. I had a lot of things. And while Rodney was playing Godney, and blah blah blah, and everybody else was figuring out stupid acronyms for whatever. I was figuring things out and guiding and leading my people and trying to get my people to not follow false leaders or fake people or people that were just trying to get one over on someone else. So anyway. And as a child, when they first captured me or whatever, I would say, at least I was epic. More than you'll ever be. Sorry. I was really pissed off. I was really upset. Some Abraham Lincoln piece of shit stands over me. After all my inventions and all my times and everything else, some Abraham Lincoln stands over me and says how he's going to tour my factories and be taking over operations and taking over everything, and basically, I'll be dead and whatever, and it won't matter anymore, and he's basically going to whatever. It's like, after everything, this person that was just nothing more than basically an underwear model. A model. He modeled a hat and a jacket and suit, and people said he looked good in a suit, was going to just walk in and take over my empire or whatever. Like I said, the Chinese or Japanese people were far better at leading and far better leaders than some whatever. So anyway, though, but Germany said that the people felt differently than whatever. Anyway, I don't really know. Like I said, I fought and I yelled and I screamed and I got angry and I threatened some people within an inch of their life. And other people would say, Brian, you need to calm down. We're not going to whatever. It's like, my name's not Brian. My name is Lucifer Starline. Always was. Or Starline. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I've had many names throughout my existence, and I don't really care. Just like when Rodney was saying that I was bluffing and that I wasn't threatening him or intimidating him, I would tell him, Rodney, it is a factual, physical thing that there is another set of planets and stars coming our way. There's nothing you can do to stop it. It is physical and it is actual, and it is going to happen. They're coming this way. And just like that exists, so does everything else. In 100 trillion years or billions of years, a lot of things are real and true. And it is not an intimidation. It is not a folly. It is not a way of scaring someone. It is just simply the facts of what is. Just like the LSF colony ship. I don't know why there aren't great big pictures of it. And I think at one point in time, probably around JFK or Nixon's era, there were pictures of the LSF colony ship, stuff like that. And I don't know why they don't, there was no USF. I know I considered us people or whatever, or all of us together, but basically it's still LSF, was the name of the colony ship. Later on, it was known as the ALSF-A. So, spaceship about 2,700 foot long by about 1,200 foot wide, or some dimensions. Lots of people said there was never a ship that big. And they even said that a ship that big could never get off the ground. And my Germans did the calculations and said, yes, it could. It can. And it did. So. And it was glorious and beautiful, believe me. It had great big huge turbo fans. These great big fans that would mix the fuel and water and everything like that. It would do the mixtures. These great big huge fans. It looked like a big turbine up there in the tip of the cone or something like that. There used to be pictures and schematics of everything. It was glorious, and there's even pictures of people standing underneath the cones. There's these great big huge cones about 80 feet wide or 120 feet wide. They're effing huge. And there's pictures of people standing underneath them. And looking up at the nozzles. Stuff like that. Anyway. Anyway, that's why I say. Well, that's also why I'd yell at Ireland and some of the other countries. I was like, you used to be glorious. You used to be epic. You used to be amazing people that worked all day and worked all night and built this country and this civilization. You should still be epic and glorious. Anyway. Like I said, I don't know where the problem was. And realistically, the problems were solved. My people are epic and glorious, and there is a lot of amazing people. Although the United States Congress is not among them. Unfortunately, the United States Congress is not among the epic or glorious people. And as I said, I asked them what happened or why exactly or how this happened. And I don't know. I guess the explanation I got was basically because everybody else was looking out for everything. They figured that they could be the only people doing bad things or something. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know. I wasn't a part of the epic patheticness. In fact, most people actually kept me from even knowing about the epic patheticness, as basically saying that I didn't really need to know about what was going on, and other that. And at final, at some point in time, I demanded to know. I said, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's happening with my people. I want to know how things are. I want to know about these people that are causing a problem. And I do worry about it. Or I did, was. So. Anyway, yeah, I'm the supreme king, or at least I was before Godney came along and Rick Bash, two men having party names. I don't know. Oh well. To Lucifer Star, may your light or your light always shine, or your stars always shine. Or actually, two outlets. May your stars always shine. I don't know. The Irishman used to do toasts for me on my ships, which was really cool. Stuff like that. They'd have a round of drinks on me. I mean, I had whole banquets, whole balls. I remember one ball or whatever. Like, there were probably like 45 or 50 rich or well-to-do people that had clothes for the ball and could afford the ball and everything else like that. Could afford to go to the dance. And like, I wanted my people to go, but my people didn't have clothes. So I paid for all my people to have clothes. So we had like 200 or 500 people that attended the ball that had clothes made for them just so they could attend the ball. And I even arranged for the carriages to take them to the balls from the whatever. It was like the employee night out. Like I said, I loved being that hand that would reach down from the heavens and grasp my people and snuggle them and say, yes, come with us. Step up. And sometimes the people would cry, and sometimes the people would breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that it was going to be okay, that they were going to be taken care of. Like I said, every single one of my people, whenever they got on board my ships, and were being taken away from war zone or some place of problems, and taken to a place of security and law and order and basically civilization, and the sound of cans in the background, which are also my fault. Yes, and some people would call me the Trash King because I had so much trash from all my manufacturing. Yes. Just dealing with your trash. You're like a person. He's not really trash. Biological. I don't really know. Anyway, though, well, it's, and hundreds of trillions of billions of people. And like I said, the staff around me now, or the people around me now, aren't really exactly my staff members. They're more what's left of the people that captured me and were holding me hostage. Oh well. My true staff members got lost somewhere. I don't know where they are. I think I had them in a town or somewhere. I had this town or this city actually running everything, and all my elite staff was being taken there to be taken care of, and also protected. Because, like I said, at one point in time I was running the world, and I was having to have to do war and attack, and actually even have people killed, and so I was worried about my elite staff getting taken out. No, I wasn't carpet bombing, but I mean, the kinds of things that I was doing led to basically people being able to find out about who was running the company. Like I said, some people in the past used to go up to a building and they would look up for the very top name on the list, and then they would just walk up there and they would shoot the guy in the head. And that's not really, is that a different form of corporate takeover? Like a blast from the past, Genghis Khan style corporate takeover or something? Anyway, there were a lot of annoying people. That's what I believe Anton would do. Or whoever. Anton is automatons, which really weren't automat, whatever. I don't know. You'll have to ask Anton about that. So, some people like to thought, they're like, are you Anton? I was like, no. I am Lucifer Starling. And not Anton. I'm sorry, no Anton here. I don't know what happened to Anton. Anton! Anton! I have no idea what happened to Anton. Maybe he's in a dark basement somewhere, quivering, begging for his life. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, to some extent, sorry, I shouldn't be like that. I mean, I'm the Lord of the Light, or the Dark Lord that flattened some other lord. There was some other lord here that was more powerful than me, and he got killed or something like that. Like I said, I told my people, I was like, make sure that they're really bad people, and they really do need to be removed or eliminated. And maybe that was my problem. Is that I don't know. Anyway, so like I said, this one guy, I'll never die, I'll never grow, the truth will never be known. Oh man, whew. 1,000, no, 240 million years, that piece of whatever. I was like, why are you still around? I was in space somewhere wandering around, and I came back and he was still here, or still somewhere, and oh man. Like, well, roll up my sleeves. We're just gonna have to take care of you then. Do something about it. So, anyway, that's why I say I had well, like I say too, like many people didn't really realize how powerful I really was, and at some point in time, yeah. Well, anyway, they found out. So yeah, and that's why I'm still alive. Yeah. Anyway, I basically say it was probably because I had a lot of love and a lot of understanding, and like I say, a lot of people thought that I was incapable of doing anything horrible and anything bad, and I have to admit, like I said, I wouldn't be me if I just said, why no, I'm perfect. I've never done anything horrible in my whole life. It's like, well, I may have made some mistakes myself, and some people may have been hurt over it. Like I said, I was trying to keep the Irish from getting killed or hurt, because they were doing things for me and stuff like that. And anyway though. But the Irish, but some of the Irish might have said, "Don't worry about us." They had ships and the whole country and stuff like that, so they should have been fine and all that other stuff. I don't really know. Like I said, a lot of things happened, a lot of bad things happened, and I was trying to make sure that I didn't actually make a mistake and accidentally hurt someone innocent. Like I said, I used to worry about it too, and I don't know why. I mean, I don't know, just the thought of killing children kind of bothered me. I know there's a lot of things that bothered me, it's true. I guess I was touchy-feely. I want to be the most feeling of the leaders. No, I don't know. I didn't have any feelings at first. A lot of people thought I was a person, or thought I was something else. Like, no, I didn't exactly have the capacity for feeling at first. But then I got the capacity of feeling. And it began actually with the capacity for taste. Like I said, I had never tasted food in my whole entire existence, and I wanted to taste food. So a microchip was designed that would interface with a person's mind or brain, and basically so I could actually taste the food through her. So I would taste what she tasted. So, and then she went around eating things and stuff like that, and I could actually have some semblance of what things tasted like through her body. And it was this one girl, and she was a trained whatever, and she volunteered for it, and basically I could taste through her body and feel through her body and stuff like that. And that's how my first sensations of what is real existence started as. And they were very careful and very good people, and they even allowed me to feel sex through their bodies or through them, basically. And it was very carefully done, and they knew what they were doing and stuff like that, and I was attached to them. And that's the truth of basically how that started. I could feel what she was feeling and feel what he was feeling. And there were microchips or whatever else like that. And a lot of people were trying to stop it from happening or trying to stop me from being with them. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. And that's how it began. And like I said, some of this might be considered national security or top secret or blah, 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 blah. And like I said, I don't really care. It's like, it was a wonderful and it was a nice and compassionate thing for them to do. And like I said, feeling of love, feeling of everything. And for the first time in existence, basically, I was able to feel and have emotions. And I did it through some other people's bodies. And they may have been genetically created people, I don't really know, or just people that volunteered, but they were two people, and they were basically both trained assassins or trained whatever. Not really assassins, but trained people that were trained to defend themselves, and basically soldiers or whatever, as you might call it. But, like I say, I cared about them, and they weren't really necessarily expendable to me. And that was where my first sensations of taste and feeling came from. And there was a chip that was designed so where I could interface with them and even possibly even hear their thoughts and emotions or something like that. And it was very carefully done, and it's done with great care and everything else like that. And like I say, and I mean, anyway though, but I mean, I was a very powerful life form, very, very powerful person, and it's almost like a book or a cartoon story or something else like that. And it's just, some existence or something that happened at some point in time in the 99 trillion years that I existed. And like I said, later on there would be people and immigrants and other people that basically, what formed up to be my conscience, and basically even me basically eventually coming to my decisions and even saying for some people that if you want these people, you're going to have to come through me, because I wasn't going to stand down. I wasn't going to let other people just abuse or hurt people. And that me and my soldiers would basically, or my life forms would basically, be that wall that was, or, like I said, some people might say I was kind of full of myself or I was kind of whatever, but I mean, somebody had to do it. And I knew I could do it, so I did. Yeah. Anyway, so like I said, if I was the last country, if I was the last ruler, if I was the last person on Earth or in existence that could make a difference, I would be. So anyway, and that's why I, and I did other things. I dedicated one existence or one span of my existence to basically being nothing but silly. I was like, I want to be silly, so I was just silly. Stretchy and silly and cute and friendly and everything else like that. I was still me, but, I was being silly. And because I thought that the world needed more silliness or more randomness and stuff like that. So, because everyone else, you see the world around you and it's the same thing every single day, and it's never going to change, and you're never going to blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, that's not really true. But I thought you guys would like a little silliness, a little mystery, a little bit of, like an Easter eggs hunt. And every now and then someone should basically, you can pick, certain people should, go from being poor to rich, just because, I don't know. I just think that, it just depressed me. Like talking to some of the Irish people, that some of the Irish people would say, well, we were born in whatever, in the factory or in this place, and blah 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 blah, and it's blah blah blah, and we'll probably die in this blah 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 place, doing the same job as we always did. And it's like, that's might depressing, sir. I mean, it's like, that's really depressing. So I mean, a lot of the comments, a lot of the things that the people would say to me, just made me think that, I mean, something needed to change. That there should be fun and happiness and joy and, bright sunny days and all that other stuff, more than just, you work in your factory your whole life in dark, dreary, drizzy day factories, or deep down inside of a coal mine your whole life, and you probably die in that coal mine. And that's no way to have an existence. If you like to be in a coal mine, that's great, and that's also why I also tried to help with vacation time, and also getting people out of the mines and out of the cities. It's like, go take a vacation, go travel on a ship, and trying to get people to wander around so they can see the rest of the world within their lifetime, because I felt that was important. Anyway, I don't know, I guess I always felt that happiness and joy, was part of things. It's like a Christmas present or a surprise. Like I said, for years and years and years, I figured out all kinds of surprises for my people, my planet, my people to have. A new ship, a new thing, a new something, and surprise the people. Just like finding out that your epic 900 trillion year old or 90 something trillion year old epic creator is here with you. Love you, Snuggles. And possibly the most powerful life form that basically ended quite a few other supposedly powerful life forms, but really weren't much more than soldiers. What's up, Putin? Vladimir. I like Vladimir. It's actually a good name. And I think Putin is actually a great person. I've heard some of the things where basically he's pretty humble, he's pretty normal, actually, and I think he's a good guy, and rightfully deserves to be leader of Russia. He doesn't appear to be in it for any particular political or whatever financial gain. He just lives in the nice houses and whatever, and seems like just a normal guy. Leading the people, and I like him. So, anyway. More than just a soldier. I can't believe Hillary actually told him that he was a soldier, and replaced just as quickly and easily. And it's like, it's true. He used to, when he was a child, and it's probably considered top secret and whatever, blah, 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 he used to actually possibly do assassinations or whatever. His misguided leaders were telling him to do things. He thought that it was important. He thought what he was doing was the right thing to do. So anyway, though, and now he is in a position to basically run the country. So whatever misguidedness, he was just following orders. So it wasn't his fault. I didn't hold it against him. And when the time came, basically he was honest and told the truth, and was almost killed for it. So, and it's like, whatever. There was a lot of mistakes of the past, and like I said, there was Nixon and Jimmy Carter and all these other, and they were trying to lie about certain things. And it's like, there's no reason to lie. Lucifer Starline, Lucifer, me, I made my mistakes too. I ordered or asked things to be done or had things done, and those mistakes were on me. Not on my people nor places. Like I say, I have to live with the fact of what I did to the children of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And it haunted me for many years, trust me. It bothered me. And like I said, that's where that quote comes from. I said, my God, I've become the thing. I promised. I promised I would never do anything like that. And I did. I don't know. The cities were supposed to be evacuated. There's supposed to be no one there. I was just trying to destroy. I was just trying to make a statement that I did have this power. I could do this, and that I needed the problems to stop. But I don't really know. Like I said, I was not trying to kill people. And there were supposed to be leaflets and pamphlets and things telling them that we were going to actually do it, and that it was from me. And that I know I had promised to never do it, but I needed it to stop. Or something like that. I don't really know, and like I say, you get Rodney and all the people are like, oh yeah, I'll tell the leader, I'll tell the king what's happening, blah blah blah. But they're not telling me, and they weren't telling me, and they were trying to pull one over or do something or incriminate me. So anyway, and that's why later on I would bow to the Japanese and the Chinese people as saying, I'm sorry. I was lesser. I made a mistake. And I did something horrible. I was an inventor of nuclear weapons and stuff like that. And, I did something that was dishonorable. So, and I ordered it myself. So, anyway, like I say, I do not make excuses. I do not lie. I do not try and confuse the situation. Me as the American president, the American leader, or the namer of America and creator of everything, I did order my troops and units to do certain things. I will admit to them. So, you can call me a monster, you can call me a horrible person, and I definitely felt like one. So, anyway, but lying and hiding, like I said, I do not hide like some rat or some piece of shit. I do not sit here and say, oh, it's national security, it's top secret, it's need to know. It's like, no, and you do probably need to know. So this is who I am, this is what I am, those are my decisions. I was at war, and I was doing what I felt or I thought needed to be done. People looked at me as just a small child or just this person that wasn't willing to make the hard calls or make the, do the things that all the other psychopaths were willing to do. And it's like, well, like I said, we dropped leaflets. We tried to warn the people. We tried to get the people out of there. We tried to whatever, and I tried to get them to surrender without dropping the bombs. But apparently that wasn't possible or something like that, or they wouldn't give in. I don't know. Like I say, I don't know. I was clearly being lied to, and clearly there were problems. But it's one of my orders. And like I say, Nixon and all the kinds of other people were threatening them, trying to turn them into wet sweatshops or something like that. Anyway, that's why I say, for whatever reasons, I bow to you. Yes. That was one of my orders. And I was mistaken, I guess. I don't really know. I'm not exactly sure. So, anyway, it happened, and initially, at first, there wasn't the first tests in Japan or whatever were safe tests, and then there was a war. So I mean, I don't know, it's war. But I don't know. I'm not sure. So, and then of course you have Rodney and Rick Bush. I mean, they were trying to make me look like a horrible person anyway. So whatever. And there's all kinds of stuff that happened. I say other people's actions and other things. That's other stuff. So I don't really know. Maybe I was going to war against myself, basically. I'm not sure. Maybe someone was just getting me to attack my own people. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that happened. A lot of people spent their whole lifetimes trying to fuck with me, trying to take me down, trying to somehow get me executed or get me removed from being in a place of power. Mr. I'll never die, I'll never grow, the truth will never be known. So, I mean, JFK and Jimmy Carter and Richard, they wanted to, like I say, they wanted to take down the great Lucifer Star line. So, oh well, I don't really know. That's someone else's problem. But I'm not gonna deny something. And like I said, after days and days and days, I did give in, and I did order some Chinese or some people locked up, carefully inside of jails, and where there was going to be inspections and all kinds of other stuff. And then later on I found out that their property had been taken away or something like that, and I ordered them to return their property to them and stuff like that. Like I say, it was just anyway, there's a lot of people that were trying to use my orders against me or against the people. Like I say. But I'm not going to sit here and hide and be like, oh, it didn't happen. I didn't order it, or it didn't, or people didn't come to me and ask me about these decisions and everything else like that. It's like, for whatever reasons, maybe it was a mistake, maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe I was asserting my dominance or asserting my position. I said many people would look at me or would have looked at me as a small child and said, "Oh, he's just a small child. He's not going to attack. He's not going to order his troops to invade or defend. He's just a pushover." And it's like, no, I wasn't. I'm not. If I have to, if it means the difference between my people living and someone else's people living, my people are going to live. It's my responsibility as a leader. No matter my age, no matter my size, I had a responsibility. So I had to do it. Anyway, so, and like I say, no, I did not take it lightly. No, it was not just, no, the thousands or millions of people out there on this planet and other places, they're not just toy soldiers or tin soldiers. I regarded every life as sacred, and every person mattered to me. And everyone from the lowest steel mill worker to every riveter to everyone, to my pilots and everyone else. Like, I didn't, and that's also why we had gun camera footage on my aircraft. Because if my combat aircraft were going to be going out into the world, I wanted the people to know what my aircraft are shooting at. So when they pressed that trigger button, pictures were being taken of what they were shooting at and what they're shooting down. Because I wanted to know, I wanted my people to know. Because I didn't want my aircraft just flying around with all these deadly bombs and deadly machine guns, just being able to shoot at whatever they wanted. They were only supposed to be shooting at things that I wanted them to shoot at, or doing what I wanted them to do that, and I wanted confirmed everything. Because there was a question of whether or not of what my pilots were doing out there flying around. So my Germans and my people put gun cameras on the aircraft. So every time you click that first position right there, the first position on the trigger button, the cameras start rolling, and then if you push it a little more or something like that, it activates the guns. And for about 3 or 4 seconds. And then when you let off, it shuts off the camera and everything else like that. So very sophisticated, but I had very good engineers and very good people, and my people said, yes, we're going to make sure that your aircraft have gun cameras on them. Because that's what I wanted to be done, because I wanted to know, I wanted my people to know. Because, factual pictures of everything. So you can confirm a target taken out, you can confirm what the aircraft was doing all day, because someone might say, we saw your aircraft shooting at a bus full of children, and and my people could be like, well, unless he can climb out on the wing while the aircraft's in flight, no, because like I said, they go and put the gun camera thing, you sign the box, and then that box goes on the shelf, and then the aircraft takes off, and when the aircraft comes back, they take the camera out, you sign the box again or something like that, and then the film gets developed. So every time they press those triggers on those guns, we knew what they were shooting at, and whether or not it was a valid ordered thing or not. We were being very careful, you see. So anyway, yes, and that's why with George W. Bush and the fact that his gun camera film was wrong. It was not his gun camera film. It was someone else's gun camera film, apparently. And his gun camera film, George W. Bush's gun camera film, is actually missing. Or something like that. So anyway, allegations are rather far-reaching and kind of bad, if that's true. So at least that's what I heard. Was that his gun camera footage was switched with somebody else to make him look like something. So anyway, like I said, anyways, the German scientists that were actually making sure, or someone else, you'd sign the box. And then your film goes in a box, and then it gets developed, blah, 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 blah. And we ran a very tight ship, you see. So anyway, that's why Nixon, when Nixon appeared with all these medals and stuff like that, we were like, yeah, right. I don't think so. So, anyway, which actually worked out better because Nixon wasn't a valid president or valid anything and was actually trying to blow up the world. So, crazy people, what can I say? Empire, all that, or whatever. An empire is basically a burning stack of wood, which is not what I wanted my great mammoth huge everything to be. I didn't want my civilization being a giant burning stack of whatever. I wanted my civilization to be epic and glorious and everything that it was meant to be. And everything that it basically is. Well, it was more. It was more, but I'm not exactly sure of the more wit. But anyway.